Hello and welcome. In this presentation, I'm going to show how we can use Python to summarize data. In step 1, we import required libraries. We begin by importing the Python libraries we need: NumPy and Pandas help with numerical and data manipulation tasks. Scikit-learn is imported for advanced analysis such as principal component analysis and preprocessing. We're not going to use these features yet, but I'm just showing how we would use scikit-learn, sklearn for importing PCA, principal component analysis, or preprocessing tools. And then matplotlib is imported for creating visualizations later. So we're going to run this in Mac. We shift and enter return. That will run this code. Once that code is finished, we will see the star getting changed to 1. Step 2, we load the data set from a CSV file. Our data is located in this file equipment.csv. It contains information about different equipment sales to customers. So we create a data frame equipment_df. It's a pandas data frame within which we are loading the data that exists in equipment.csv, and the command is pd.read_csv. So pd is pandas. We have already imported it and called it pd, and then we are reading this file. So again, and running this. Step 3, we use the head open bracket close bracket command to preview first 15 rows of the data set. So that's where we can see the first 15 rows, 0 to 14 or 15 rows, and then for all the variables that we have here. And after that, we describe the data that provides summary statistics such as mean, standard deviation, and range for each numeric variables. So equipment_df is our data frame .describe with open and close parenthesis will give us the results here. So this was the general look into the data, and this is the summary statistics of the data, which includes the count of number of rows, what's the mean for each of the variables, standard deviation, min, 25th percentile, 50th, 75, and max for all the variables, right? So we can go right and we see all the variables here. The next step, we are going to compute summary statistics for each variable in a different method. Some of the variables that we have listed here, in this case, we are going to do this for feature count. And this time we are specifically instructing what exactly we need. So we are going to say print. This time we want mean within this data frame for this variable called feature_count. We have a variable which captures the features, number of features that a product has. So we want to know the mean. So dot mean bracket. Then we have standard deviation, same, but we just change this to .std and bracket, and then min, max, median, length, number of missing values. In number of missing values, we write .is null brackets .sum. So we enter this and we get to see all the variables, all the statistics, descriptive statistics that we wanted here. The next step is to compute summary statistics for all variables. So this was for a specific variable when we want it, and if we want it for all numeric variables, we could also do it like this. This way we know exactly what we want, and we just have to do this first of all to create a data frame and put all the mean, standard deviation, min, max, median, length, and missing values of all the variables that are there in this equipment_df data frame into a newly formed data frame called summary_df, and we then run this command and then print that summary table print summary underscore df, which is where all these descriptive statistics are there. So we have specified what exactly we want: mean, standard deviation, min, max, median, length, and missing values, whereas when we did describe, it is going to provide you these specific descriptive statistics. So here we are specifying that we also need median, for example, or we need to know what are the missing values. So that's how we do this. We just have to first create the summary underscore df and then print that. Then the next step is to compute and display correlation matrix. The correlation matrix shows how strongly numerical variables are related to one another. Values close to 1 or -1 would indicate strong relationships, while values near 0 indicate weak or no relationships. So I'm going to run this, and now it creates a correlation matrix where you have a set of variables that we have in the data set in the rows and in the columns. So a variable with itself is obviously going to be it's perfectly correlated. So all the diagonals are going to be 1. And off diagonal, we get to see how much correlation exists, for example, between variable premium zone percent with competition index, or industrials use percent with competition index, and so on and so forth. So we can look at correlation between two variables, any two variables in this matrix. Next, we are going to do aggregation. It's a useful approach. By doing so, we can see how the number of products are distributed across variables. For aggregation, using one specific variable, for example, in this case, we are interested in eco-friendly flag, and we want to know how many of the data sets, of the total sample we have, are eco-friendly products and how many in that are not eco-friendly. So I'm going to enter that, and I can see 0 and 1 represent eco-friendly flag, 0 or 1, and then there are 4,654 zeros and 346 ones in the data set. Next, we are going to create bins for another variable, feature count, and we want to later on use this for pivot table. So first I'm going to create bins of size 1. Feature count represents the number of features that a product has. So this variable feature count, actually feature count underscore bin, is what this variable's name is in the data set. So that is what you see here. Equipment underscore df, feature count bin, and this is the process of creating the bins of size 1. So in this case, we are basically using the data frame and then going from 0 till 10. There are 10 different features that a product can have. So then we are trying to create bin for that. So we enter this and we ran that. Now we compute average price of feature count bin and eco-friendly status. So we are going to look for the average price grouped by feature count, bin, and eco-friendly status. So this helps us understand how price changes across feature levels and sustainability categories. So when I enter this, here are the feature counts starting from 3 to 8 in the data set. We don't have products less than 3 features, and we don't have products more than 8 features in this data set. And eco-friendly can be 0 or 1. So we can see that for some product features like 3, we don't have eco-friendly flag of 1, only 0. But for others, we have 0 and 1. And this provides us the mean for this particular product with this eco-friendly flag, what the mean is, mean price is. For 4, if it is with an eco-friendly flag of 0, then the price is 13.14. If it's with an eco-friendly flag of 1, it's 12.82, and so on and so forth. Right. So we get to see how exactly the prices are here. Next, we create a pivot table for clearer comparison. A pivot table reorganizes the same grouped information into a format that is easier to read and compare across categories. So this code where we write pd.pivot underscore table, and then using the data frame, we are specifying price, which is what we want to know, using these two variables as our categories, feature count bin and eco-friendly flag, and we are interested in the mean value of the price. So this way we get to see when feature count is 3 and eco-friendly flag is 0, how much is the price. When feature count is 3, eco-friendly flag is 1, what's the price? In this case, it's not applicable because we don't have any product of that kind. And then feature count of 4, when it's 0 or 1, what are the prices? So this is a pivot table representation of that. Next, we create bins of size 10. So we are going from 0 to 100 and creating bins of size 10. For this variable, we are going to create later premium zone percentage. So first, before we create those bins for this variable, I'm just going to create a variable called bins, which is going to be capturing all these bins 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on and so forth. So that's how we do this. So when I click this, I've created those bins here. Now creating binned version of this variable premium zone percent, I'm going to use our data frame equipment underscore df, take the variable that we are interested in, and now we use this command pd.cut and same data frame, the variable that we're interested in, and we had created a variable called bins. We want that as our bins in which this variable will be distributed. So I enter this, and next cross tabulation counts how many observations fall into each combinations of high value status and premium zone percentage bin. Because premium zone percentage bin, we just created a variable like that, which is 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, all the way till 100. And high value flag is basically capturing the premium, the high value products, how many of them we sell in premium zone regions in the market. So I enter that. Now we convert this count. So we have first calculated the count of that, but then we want to convert the count to proportion so that we can see what percentage that is, which is being sold in premium zone percentage. We also then round that proportion for readability. We round it to 2 decimal points. So that is what I'm going to do here. And this way now we can see that high value flag of 0 and 1 and premium zone percentage, we have created the bins 0 to 10, 10 to 20, all the way until 100. So in this case 80 to 90, there are 10 bins here. And we see the distribution of the product with high value flag between these two, these different premium zones, how they are distributed. 83% with 0 flag and 17% with 1 flag in this particular bin, and then 10 to 20 this zone, and then this zone 76 and 24, and so on and so forth. We can also visualize it by using a stacked bar chart. So that's what we are doing here. We are creating a stacked bar chart so that we can see how high value equipment is distributed across premium zones. So when I enter that, the same information that we have here is now presented as a plot, which is easy to visualize. So with that, I conclude this presentation on how we summarize data using Python. Thank you.